Don't tell me that you can't afford to hire salespeople.
Sell me this pen.
Commission-based salespeople are one of the best ways to explode your sales in your business. And please believe me when I tell you, you need some help. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to get simple strategies to help you grow your business every single week. I'm Amy Walker, Client Acquisition Specialist, and my job is to help you find the simplest path to consistently closing your dream clients. Hiring salespeople. We all have our horror stories, right? Or we've heard them. Somebody who hired a salesperson and the salesperson talked a big talk, but they didn't deliver, and month after month they paid out that salesperson until the point where they felt like they were bleeding the business dry. Or they hired a really good salesperson, they closed, and then they left them in the lurch when they moved on to something else. None of these things should discourage us from hiring a salesperson, because having a commission-based salesperson is the best thing you can do to expand your sales. Let me tell you why. Number one, a commission-based salesperson generates their own paycheck every single time. So it's not about whether you can afford them or not. They're going to generate their own paycheck, and then you pay them out of what they generated with their sales. So of course you can afford them. The second reason is because you, as the small business owner and the entrepreneur, cannot dedicate 40 hours a week to sales calls. You just can't. You have other responsibilities. You have marketing, you have client fulfillment, you have product creation, you have the finances, you have a lot of things on your plate. So you cannot give 40 hours to sales, but your business deserves 40 hours or more. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of how to hire great commission-based salespeople. So where do we start? First, we have to start with realistic expectations. You need to understand the pros and the cons to hiring salespeople so that you know what to expect. A lot of times when I hear frustrations from people that they think just means this doesn't work and it's terrible, I'm like, oh no, that's normal. And so if you understand what's normal, you can understand how to navigate. For example, when you go out and you post your position for a salesperson, you are going to get blasted with resumes, and over 50% of them are going to be straight up crap. That does not mean there's not good people out there, and you can't let yourself get swayed because you're seeing so many garbage ones. There's good ones in there too. You just have to shake them out a little bit. Another example is that salespeople move, and they do. They change positions in companies, and a lot of times salespeople go into sales because they like a challenge, they like excitement, they want to constantly be feeling like they're growing. So you can keep them by creating growth opportunities in your company, or you can just understand that there's a certain amount of salespeople that are just a little bit transient by nature. Would you take an amazing salesperson who could bring in $100,000 in sales in the next 6 months, but they were only going to save for 6 months? You kind of need to know the answer to that question before you go into hiring commission-based salespeople. The next thing we have to understand is that there are different types of hires when it comes to sales, and you need to know what your business needs in order to create the best return in the quickest amount of time possible. You might need somebody who is going to do business development for you. That means that they're going to go out and they're going to generate their own leads and sell to those leads. You might need somebody who is an appointment setter, somebody who is going to call through all of the leads that you have, sift through who's qualified and who's not, get them on the calendar. You might need a really great closer, somebody who can actually seal the deal. You might need somebody who is going to do follow-up after a webinar and is going to be doing a lot of sales through text messaging and emailing. So knowing what type of closer you need to fit into your system is going to help you to know who's the right person to hire for that job. Because if I hire somebody who loves to get on the phone and close deals but hates prospecting, they would be terrible in a business development role, even if they're a great salesperson. If I hire somebody who's really good at creating conversations and building relationships, but they can't close a deal, they'd be an amazing setter, but a terrible closer. We need to know what we need in order to make sure we match the right person to the right position. My next tip is to attract more applicants. I mentioned that it's when you put a sales job out there, on Indeed or wherever you like to hire, you're gonna get a lot of applications coming in. And a lot of them are gonna be weirdos. Can we just say that? They're weirdos. Like they have no experience, but they think that they are the best in the whole wide world. Or they have experience like working at Lady Foot Locker 30 years ago and think that they can sell technology, right? Like we get a lot of weirdos.
I didn't say that. Do you hear me say it? No. What about our WACC? Huh?
What PPS multiple are you using?
What's that?
Is the financing still stable?
Hang on, guys.
And if we can get more volume of applications, we're going to get more of the quality ones. The way that you do that is by copywriting a really good job post. It's important. It matters. If you go on Indeed right now and you look for sales positions, it is boring after boring after boring after boring. Surprise, here's a good one. And when your job post is boring, what happens is all they're doing is they're looking at the money and they're deciding based off of the money if they want to apply. What is going to happen for small business owners is you can't compete. If you're just working money versus money, you can't really compete with a big company who has a base salary and commission and bonus structure. So the way that you compete is by creating a very compelling job post that makes people want to click and gets them excited about your company, about the mission, about the culture, about the team. That is how you compete with the big guys. And then you create a really great, competitive, commission-only comp plan, and they'll be willing to take the risk on the smaller opportunity because they're invested in what you do. Now let's talk about where to post. I recommend posting in 3 places. I mentioned one, Indeed. I like posting my jobs in Indeed because it's the place where we get the lowest cost per applicant. Right now, we've been getting applications for about 40 cents per application, significantly lower than when I post on Monster or some of the other job posting sites. The second place that I recommend you promote is into your own client database because your clients know you, they know your culture, they know what you do, what you're looking for, and sometimes referrals are the best. So when you're letting your clients and your current team members know you're looking, they tend to refer people to you that are also awesome. The third place that I recommend posting is on your social media because then it can be shared by the people that already know, like, and trust you and are invested in what you do. So take the Indeed link and then put it on your social media. That way your brand fans are going to be recruiting for you. Are you liking the content so far? If so, I would love for you to like this video. Next step is you get to move into your hiring process. You need to have a thorough hiring process. Have you ever heard the saying, hire slow, fire fast? Well, sometimes we don't know what that looks like to actually hire slow. It's thorough, it's methodical. Everybody that I hire onto my sales team goes through 3 interviews. They'll go through an interview that is me kind of informing them about the position, learning the basics about them, seeing if we look like we're a fit for each other. They're also going to go through an assessment where I'm going to role play with them and I'm going to listen to their talk track and see how they overcome objections, how they do when I throw them for a loop and say something weird. Are they able to get back on track? And then we'll do another interview with my final candidates to see which one is really going to be the right fit for our culture. So I look at, are we a fit in terms of details? I look at, are we a fit in terms of skills? And then I look at, are we a fit in terms of culture and values? And those 3 things combined really give me the best opportunity to hire the right person. I also, even with a thorough sales hiring process, I also hire more people than I actually need. Because in my experience, you're going to have a certain percentage of salespeople you hire that are just simply not a fit. There's not really anything you can do about that. Every company has different numbers. When I hire an appointment setter, it's a 4-to-1 ratio. I hire 4 people for 1 to work out. When I hire a closer, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. A couple of years ago, I had a prospect that came to me and they had a ratio of 12-to-1. They would have to hire 12 people and send them through training for 1 to even work out. That was pretty bad. I hope that yours is a little bit better than that. If it's not, we should probably talk and fix it. The last thing that I do to help ensure someone being successful on my sales team is I create a scale up plan. So I'm going to show you what this looks like here. In the scale up plan, what I'm trying to combat is the problem of having to fill a sales pipeline. You know, if your sales cycle is 3 months, you're going to hire a new person and I wouldn't expect them to close for 4 months because the first month they're just figuring things out. Then they're filling their pipeline successfully and people will be closing in 4 months. But here's the problem. I don't want you to get to 4 months and realize that this person is not a fit for you. I want you to realize in month 1 or month 2 that they're not a fit so you can replace them and you're not wasting time and money working with a salesperson who is never going to work out for you. So what I've done is I've created this scale up plan. I call it my sales standards. So I go through and I look at what do they need to pass off on product knowledge. What skills do they need to be able to talk about there, and I rate their calls. So we'll have someone on the team go through, listen to their calls, and rate them on product knowledge. Then I look at the different types, and this one that I'm showing you is an old one. So we had product knowledge. In here we also had a certain type of event that they were selling at. Then we train them on the system, and we rate them on the system. And then we have this progression timeline where I look at it and I say, okay, in week 1, here's what I need you to be able to do successfully. In week 2, here's what I need you to be able to do successfully. In week 3, this is where you should be at. And we go on until we hit the end of that sales cycle window so that we can make sure that our people are being successful. Now, with a commission-based salesperson, what will happen is this will also be a good tool for them to help them see if they're making it. And because they're not making money until they close, they want to get to the close as quickly as possible. And if they see like, oh, I didn't do well in week 1, I didn't do well in week 2, I didn't do well in week 3, sometimes they'll take themselves out of the mix as well because they're self-filtering. They also want to be in a successful position. It's really important when we're hiring commission-based salespeople that we're being very transparent. We're transparent with what their earning potential is. We're transparent with how we pay them. We're transparent with all of that so that they can dig in and be successful as quickly as possible. So let's summarize what we've talked about today. First of all, you want a commission-based salesperson. They are not going to be an upfront expense. They are going to generate their own paychecks every single time. Also, we need to go into it with realistic expectations. We need to post a good job post. We need to have a thorough hiring process. And then we need to be able to track and see how well they're performing once they join our team. If you are looking for more help and support in your sales and marketing, I would love for you to go and take our sales and marketing GPS. If you know where you're at and you know where you want to go, sometimes you just need the map that takes you there. So it's a quick assessment. You can go and answer the questions in under 10 minutes, and then we will give you a customized 8-page improvement plan that is going to detail what you should be doing in your sales and marketing systems and strategies in order to reach your ideal results. All right, my friends, we are reaching the end. I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. We release new content multiple times a week to help give you the strategies you need to grow your business. And if you're looking for some community and collaboration with other like-minded entrepreneurs, come over and join us in my private Facebook group, Acquire. It's a great place to get connected. Thank you so much for watching. Go out there and hire that first commission salesperson.